Hey guys, this is Sam Chin with Cavi Consulting. Check me out on the upcoming episode of The Jesse T Show, where I'll talk about what we do with process science and how we help businesses scale, automate, and go through sustainable growth.
What are some of the routines or integrations that you had to kind of keep going, coming back from the journey, that have proven to stay in alignment with what you learned and have been helpful in your personal life and your business moving forward?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, again, gentleness and reminding yourself that you don't, of what you've gone through. And this doesn't even have to apply, I guess, to spiritual work particularly. But what I mean by that is it's easy to come back after a week, let's say in the woods, metaphorically, where you're listening to no music, it's silent, it's quiet, and then you come right back into hanging out with your friends, going to the club, listening to music in the coffee shop, on the bus. Like, there's no quiet in our lives ever. And it's
What are
very
your thoughts
easy.
on that?
Well, for me, and in my circles, I've become a sort of a stodgy sort of, I like quiet, and it's really tough sometimes because when you know what quiet feels like and you know how peaceful it can be and you're okay listening to your own thoughts, it can be very jarring to never be able to have it. You know, when I lived in New York City for a number of years, it was one of the things that drove me out of the city, that there was no quiet anywhere. It was a resource that you had to buy at like painstaking length. You either claw your way out of the city or find a place where there's no music playing or no traffic or no chatter. It's very difficult. So I find it difficult is the short answer, but it's remembering that it is difficult and remembering that there is another place and another space, letting your body remember that because it's so easy to forget. And I think that's what, when you talk about how do you come back, how do you keep the lessons, how do you keep the strength up? At first, you sometimes are not going to change the city you're living in. If you come back to a major city or you're a consultant and you're traveling every day, you're not going to be able to make the world quiet around you. So it's not about forcing, it's about accepting that that's where you're at and just remembering that there is a quiet place and that it exists and that it feels different. And remember what that feeling of peace and kind of what that gives you.
Sure.
So, I mean, I would say a lot of it is the balancing is just knowing that they will come into balance one day. But I don't whip myself every day that I can't bring them all into balance now, because you're talking about some huge things. Like, society now it's at its own pace. So if you want to live at a different pace, you've got to kind of make some compromises.
You got to change in a sense, because it's hard to change the world around you.